celebrating 30 years on the air on WROI is the first federal program. Hosts may have changed, but the program is still the same. Now continuing a long-standing tradition, streaming on the First Federal Facebook page and on WROI. It's time for the first.
And good morning, it is First Federal Time here on this Friday, the 26th of June, 61 degrees. And good morning, Tanner, how are you?
Good morning, Randy. I'm good. How are you?
Hey, we're here.
Yep.
It's a start, it's a Friday.
Yep, it's a Friday.
And you got your green shirt on, so it means you're going somewhere.
We're going to Elkhart today.
All right.
Community Appreciation Day in Elkhart. So if you're up in the Elkhart County area, swing on by.
Yeah.
Right there on Main Street in Elkhart. It's the last Community Appreciation Day at our current location.
Yeah.
We're Elkhart branch, because next year, when it rolls around, we'll be in our new location up there.
Well, you sure hope so anyways, right?
Yeah, I should say.
Hopefully you just didn't jinx it, right?
Yeah. If everything goes according to plan,
there you go.
It's off the good progression so far. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty good day for it. There's going to be a hot dog truck up there.
Ooh.
We're going to have T-shirts right here. So they step on by and get a T-shirt. Cool. And yeah, just a lot of fun stuff going on. Some other prizes you can win. And yeah, it should be a good day.
Awesome.
So,
Can't wait.
it's hard to believe we are almost halfway through 2026.
That's scary.
It's like I feel like the year just started.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's every month we say, at the end, it's like, wow, where did that go?
I know. But time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
Yeah, I hate to break it to the kids and the teachers, but, school will be back to going here before you know it.
I'm kidding. Kidding. And speaking of our Community Appreciation Days, 2 weeks from today will be our Rochester Community Appreciation Day on July 10th.
Yes.
From 11 to 2.
You got the right temperatures and weather ordered, right?
It's ordered.
Okay.
We'll see if it comes through or not.
We'll see how good Tanner is. See,
I usually would blame it on the guys standing across here.
You ordered it.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. We got a fun show in store today.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about some amateur radio. The Fulton County Amateur Radio Club. We got Brian Johnson, president of the club, and Tom Murray, who is the treasurer/secretary of the club. So.
And it's Brian Johnson that we normally know, but it's Brian Johnson.
Yes, different hats today. We're normally talking about things going on at the Community Foundation, but thought we'd change it up a little bit today. So
you recognize the voice and the face, but a different reason today.
Yes. I brought some trivia with me this morning. It's got nothing to do with amateur radio.
Okay, I was going to say, if it's talking amateur radio, I'm going to give the edge to Brian on that one.
It's actually one of those that goes along with our On This Day.
Okay.
So on this day in 1977, Elvis Presley performed his final concert.
Ooh.
Where was that concert held?
Ooh. Was
it at Madison Square Garden in New York City, Market Square Arena in Indianapolis, the Astrodome in Houston, or the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis?
Well, I'll think about that one for a while.
Yes. So.
Glad you gave me the whole show to think on that.
You're welcome. You're usually pretty good at guessing. So.
And
maybe you know it, and you're hiding the fact that you know it.
I think I've heard it before, so I'm trying to remember which one it was.
Which, of course, he didn't know it was going to be his final performance at the time, but it turned out to be. So. Sports got a lot going on because we had NBA draft this week. MLB, of course, we're halfway finally.
Finally halfway.
So we can start maybe kind of weeding out the contenders and the pretenders a little bit. The U.S. Open golf took place last week, and then we got World Cup going on as well.
Yeah. So. Sometimes you wonder, what all's going on, but there's still plenty going in sports.
Because like last week I said, not a lot's going on, but lots going on because you got a few events that are just one time a year taking place. But the NBA draft, Purdue had 2 guys get drafted this year, which doesn't happen too often.
Right.
For their program, Braden Smith went 38th to the Pacers. Originally drafted by the Bulls, but then traded to the Pacers, there was a lot of rumors before the draft that the Pacers were going to try to get into the second round to get him. And I've heard that many times before when it's a Purdue player, Indiana player, Notre Dame player, the Pacers are going to, it doesn't happen. Well, this time it did.
Well, I know I was following along a month ago or so. He was in workouts.
Yep, he worked out with them. Yep.
When you hear that, it's like, okay, maybe that one's a little legit.
we'll see if he can make the team's roster. I assume he'll be split in time between Noblesville on the boom and the Pacers, probably bouncing back and forth a little bit. But no, we'll see. He's definitely a guy that likes to prove people wrong. He's done so his whole career in high school and college.
All right.
We'll see.
It'll be fun to see.
And then Trey Kaufman-Renn went second to last in the draft at 59th to the Timberwolves. So
right.
once again, we'll see if he makes their roster, but at least he heard his name called.
Or if he moves around, you never
back and
know.
forth
Yeah, you never know where he might end up.
Yeah, a lot of Big Ten guys went with overall
Right.
60 picks. There were 6 alone in the first round, so, which I want them to go back to just one night of the NBA draft. I don't think it's popular enough to split it up to 2 nights. You know, it's not the NFL draft, which has 3 different days or nights. But,
Because they have so many.
Right.
You know.
So, I mean, I think they could just go back and do it all in one night and get it over with. But I'm not the one who makes those decisions, and they must get the ratings and the revenue to make it happen. So. The U.S. Open for golf, like I said, took place last week, and Wyndham Clark is now a 2-time U.S. Open champion,
Ooh, okay.
even though the crowd wasn't happy about it.
Right.
I'm not a big Wyndham Clark fan, even though he likes a lot of the same sports teams I like. He's a big Colorado guy. But I felt bad for him that the crowd was so against him. They were booing his good shots and cheering his bad shots.
Wow.
I just felt that was kind of
You
dirty.
don't see that very often in golf.
And of course, he was playing with Scotty Scheffler, who is a crowd favorite. But yeah, the New York fans can be a little hostile sometimes. And credit to him, though, he made clutch shots and clutch putts down the stretch when he needed to, and kind of silenced them a little bit.
Might have been in his favor. With that. Sometimes it's like, man,
brings the best out of you.
You want to be that way? I'll watch this.
And he led wire to wire Thursday through Sunday, so hats off to him. World Cup, the U.S. Lost a heartbreaker last night, 3-2, after looking like they were kind of in command of the game, but they've done enough to advance to the next stage, where they will play Bosnia on Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
All right.
I don't know anything about Bosnia's team, but
I was going to say, I don't know much about
soccer. I don't either. So, but I do know that game is going to be played in Santa Clara, California. So. In MLB, it's been a pretty good week for the Cubs. They played the Mets. They went 7-0 against the Mets this season.
It's unusual.
Yeah. So now they are 44-37. And I got it written down, if the playoffs started today in the National League, you'd have the Dodgers, who would win the West, of course, the Brewers in the Central, and the Braves in the East. Then your wild card teams would be the Phillies, the Cubs, and the Cardinals. The Cubs would be pretty safely in.
Yeah.
The American League, the Yankees would be your East champs. The White Sox would be your Central champs. And the Mariners, your West champs. And your wild card would be the Rays, the Guardians, and the Astros.
White Sox might get some awards for that, from the worst to the best.
I mean, their fans have to be thrilled. We're almost in July.
Yeah.
We're still talking about them at the top of their division.
I was going to say, the last 2 years in July, we're talking about.
They're selling. It's over.
Get rid of everybody, start all over.
Yep. But still a long ways to go. But like I said, I mean, we're at that halfway point now. So
it's crazy.
The All-Star break will be coming up, and
Yeah.
then you'll start seeing teams wheeling and dealing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Got some tidbits here this morning, like I said, in our trivia question. On this day, 1977, Elvis Presley performed his final concert. On this day, 1981, movie Stripes premiered.
Really?
Ever seen it?
Bits and pieces of
I'm
it,
saying, Bill Murray.
Yeah.
It's funny from what I've seen.
Yeah, right.
I've
I've never sit down and watched it.
On this day, 1997, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone launched the global franchise. It was off and running from there.
Yeah.
And there's been a whole slew of #1 draft picks on this day in the NBA. I just wrote down a few notable ones. 1996 was Allen Iverson, went #1. 2002 was Yao Ming. 2003 was a guy named LeBron James.
Yeah, it worked out well.
And 2008 was Derrick Rose.
Okay.
The Bulls. So all of those worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't hear much about some of them now.
No,
but there's still a few familiar names there.
We've got a lot of national days today. There's National Beautician's Day, National Take Your Dog to Work Day.
Did you bring yours?
I did not bring mine today.
Come on, they'd appreciated it.
He would have liked it.
Yeah.
Especially going up the hill.
I was going to say, he'd been the people person.
National Canoe Day, National Stitch Day, as in the movie Lilo and Stitch, National Cream Tea Day,
Okay.
World Drug Day, as in your pharmaceuticals, World Refrigeration Day, Dream Big Day, National Chocolate Pudding Day. I can get on board with
I
that
was
one.
gonna say that sounds like a good one.
National Coconut Day. I'm not a big coconut fan. Flavor.
Yeah.
Coconut fan?
No.
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 No. All right. Me too.
I can keep it.
National Safer Workplace Day.
Well, that's always good.
Drive your Corvette to Work Day.
Well, if I had one.
Yeah, I
would.
forgot mine because I
Yeah.
don't have one.
Yeah. Still in the garage. Somewhere, somebody's garage.
I like that.
Yeah.
National Barcode Day and National Food Truck Day.
Oh, can't go wrong with food.
Can't go
truck.
wrong with the food truck. So. Coming events around the community, Civic Players Logan Sport have a show going on tonight. Cabaret at the McHale Performing Arts Center. Performance tonight is at 7:30. Tomorrow is at 7:30 as well, and Sunday's at 2:30. Tickets will be $15 at the door, and you can also get them online on the Civic Players of Logan Sports website.
Cool.
So, our own Heather Cavins from the bank is part of the ensemble, and her husband Michael helped build the set for it. So
Cool. Awesome.
they do a good job there, putting on 3 or 4 shows a
Yeah.
year. So.
Cool.
Got some flowers we want to give out this morning. One of them goes to our own Tommy Brock at the bank and her husband Ron Brock for being featured as the top gardener
Ooh, okay.
by the Rochester Garden Club
Awesome.
at their house. So, and then we got a family member of a First Federal family member, Elaine Gottschalk, for being picked Gardener of the Month
Cool.
by the Rochester Garden Club.
Awesome.
So congratulations there.
There's some gardeners in
Yeah.
the First Federal family there, it sounds like.
The pictures looked really good. Maybe I'll have to have Tommy maybe for some assistance in my garden at home.
There you go.
Mine's not looking so good.
Doesn't look like
No,
hers.
not quite. Not quite. Well, at First Federal, we'd love to see you today at any of our 6 Northern Indiana branch locations, especially at Elkhart, where it's our Community Appreciation Day today. But if you can't get into the branch, you can always bank with us online and with our mobile app, which is free to download. Type of First Federal Savings Bank, FFSB Rochester. There's a whole combination that'll work. Just look for the white star and the green with the green background. You know you got the right First Federal Savings Bank. And our ATM's open 24/7 as well if you need some cash. If you're traveling around the state this weekend and you're in an area that doesn't have a First Federal ATM, get on MoneyPass.com because we're a part of the MoneyPass network. Type in the area you're in. It'll pop up with the other associated MoneyPass ATMs in that area. You can use it and you won't get charged a surcharge fee.
I have used it before.
We were just talking with a lady about it last week in Bremen at Community Appreciation Day. She was complaining about surcharge fees and stuff, and we told her about it, and she thought that was great.
Yeah.
So, we offer Simply Free checking accounts and Simply Free business checking accounts. Right now, when you open up a new checking account, you will receive a free waterproof speaker.
Yeah.
Brought it in last week as I dropped it on Facebook Live, but brought one last week, and they're camouflage
Right. Look good.
designs, so and they work really, really well.
Awesome.
So I've had to order quite a few of them, so I think they've been pretty
I
popular.
was gonna say, sounds like a popular.
Well, it's
thing.
perfect for summer.
Right. Yeah.
You're floating in the pool or out on the lake.
On the river.
Don't have to worry if it falls in the water.
If you're gonna celebrate Canoe Day, you can.
Yeah, there
take
you
it
go.
with
And it floats. It
Okay.
floats. It's not going to sink. So, and if you're looking to buy a new home, contact Ben Dalton or Stacy Wilson at our Rochester branch to get pre-approved and see how they can help you and your family with your mortgage lending needs. That pre-approval is a big deal
Yeah.
because it's a free service we offer, and that way you get all your ducks in line in a row, and you're ready to go when that dream house of yours hits on the market. Because some houses are starting to pop up, but they're not lasting long
No.
by any means.
And no more get the sign in the yard and it's changed
Yep.
it over to sold.
Yep. So make sure you're ready to go, so you're not caught looking, and then somebody else gets the house you want. We offer commercial lending for businesses. Contact Zach Ruger for more information. His direct line is 574-223-1731. If you're thinking about retiring, maybe you need to roll over a 401k, maybe you want to get a 529 savings plan started for somebody in your family, you can contact Mark Blueball, Brian Bell, or Grant Goman of our Financial Services Department. And any of those 3 gentlemen would be happy to help you. Direct line is 574-223-1705. And stay up to date with the latest going on at First Federal Savings Bank by liking us on Facebook, following us on X and Instagram at FF Banking is our handle on those two platforms, liking us on LinkedIn, and subscribing to our YouTube channel, which you can see a whole archive of First Federal radio shows dating back to 2019. We are the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender. Our NMLS number is 399927.
The mix is legal, ready for the fun part
Ready
of
for
the
the
show.
fun part indeed, in which we're welcoming Brian Johnson and Tom Murray this morning of the Fulton County Amateur Radio Club. Good morning, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for joining me this morning. So, I heard about this club a couple months ago, Brian, when you were talking to me about it, and I still don't know a lot about it. I'm guessing a lot of people listening on the radio today and watching on Facebook Live don't know a lot about what the Fulton County Amateur Radio Club is or does.
Yeah.
So can you kind of explain to me what you guys do?
Yeah, we can tell you a little bit. Amateur radio is something that goes back, the roots of that started in the late 1800s. Radio communications, the amateur radio service, or you may have also heard it called ham radio. Nobody's quite sure what the name ham radio means, other than maybe a lot of people that like to talk. But amateur radio is licensed by the FCC, and it's really the goal is it's a form of emergency communications if all other communications have difficulty. And then it's also a fun hobby, learning about technology, things like that. We also get involved in things like working with other emergency organizations in the community. So think about some of your first responders, some of your emergency management. We work with Fulton County EMA really close. We also have worked with the National Weather Service as skywarn spotters. You may have heard that term. That's a training that helps folks understand what severe weather is. Our club members and Aries members will get involved when we have bad weather come through and maybe provide some first-hand on-site reporting and updating and verifying if there's severe weather in the area.
It's probably been pretty busy here as of late.
It's been a little bit. Yeah, Tom is one of our net controllers, and he's talked a lot on the radio recently.
So you were talking about your club. How many people are in your club? How many members?
We have 21 or 22 last time I counted.
Yeah.
And July is when we start our year, so
Okay.
hopefully we'll have some more at our next meeting next month.
Yeah, and our club meetings, it's always the second Thursday of each month.
Okay.
We'll meet at 7 p.m. out at the meeting room at the Fulton County Sheriff's Department, so we appreciate the use of that space. Folks are always welcome to come see what's going on. Or if you're just curious about what is amateur radio or what does this group do, or if you're a licensed amateur radio operator and want to connect with others in the area, we'd love to have folks stop by and just see what we're about.
And so for your club members, is there a designated, I'm going to say, hub that they go to use the equipment, or does everybody have their own equipment at home, their own setup, or how does it work?
Yes, all the above. All the above. So we've actually got a couple of spaces in the community. The Fulton County EMA building out on Highway 14. We have a station set up there with communication equipment. Also recently, Tom and a couple of our club members have worked with the Kiwanis Fire Department to set up a station at the Kiwanis Fire Department. So in case of emergency, that's another place we could be. We're also working with a couple other fire departments around the community, but we also have equipment, like I have a complete station at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Tom was talking on a repeater here locally as he's driving in his vehicle. So a lot of us have equipment that either at home, in a vehicle, or even very portable handheld equipment that we can use wherever we are.
And so how long have both of you been involved with the club?
Well,
Give or take.
I'm the young guy, so I actually got involved in the hobby in 2021, but I'm going to
Okay.
let Tom answer that question because he's been involved a little bit longer.
The club reconstituted on July 13th, 2010.
Okay.
There had been a prior Fulton County Amateur Radio Club, but a lot of those guys had passed away. And then Phil Roberts, who used to be with TCI Cable here in Rochester, got a hold of me. He had the club's original repeater, but he was getting ready to move out of state. And he wanted somebody to have the repeater, so he got a hold of me because I used to work at TCI Cable for a while. And he wanted to reconstitute the club, so we started meeting, and it's kind of grown by leaps and bounds since then. I don't know how we got so many all of a sudden. It seems to be like 5 or 6 years ago we had a real influx of people.
Brian, what made you want to get involved in what made you interested in it back in 2021?
A couple of things. I've always been kind of fascinated by technology. You see a lot of technological advancements, not necessarily as a result of ham radio, but a lot of people that were involved in it. You can hear some of the famous names. One that always jumps out to me is, if you recognize the name Steve Wozniak, Apple Computers. He was kind of the tech mind behind that. So I've always been involved in technology. There's endless amounts of technology and a lot of things that is still way above my head. But so that, and then also kind of that emergency preparedness. What happens? So we're used to cell phones and email and internet working, but what happens if that goes down? And a lot of times your first thought is, well, that's never going to happen. But there's some pretty recent examples of that happening. So that's where amateur radio can kind of fill that gap of emergency communications, because we have so much as far as different technology at home and in vehicles. We can be ready in an emergency situation when you may have standard communications having difficulty and may need to recover a little bit. So that's, those were the two things that really drew me to the hobby.
So when did you go all in and get your own in-home studio?
So I started again 2021. To be an operator, you have to pass an exam.
Okay.
There's a few different levels of exams. So you pass an exam, get a call sign, then you're licensed to transmit. And one neat thing about amateur radio is, since the operators are licensed, there's a lot of flexibility on equipment. You have anywhere from people buying commercial equipment to people building stuff with leftover parts. You don't know how many people I know that have radios that they built out of old TVs or record players. Or just some of those used parts, leftover parts that normally we'd say, let's recycle this. Now that's changing a little bit now that a lot of your technology is going to surface mount and small things, but it's pretty cool when you see that. So I started building equipment, or started getting involved with setting up a station, and the first thing everybody always starts with is a small handheld. You think about like a walkie-talkie, something like that, all the way up to some fancier stations. Tom's got a repeater in his house, which you think about a repeater being like a cell phone tower. It takes a call and it passes it on to another station operator. It extends the range of our equipment locally. So that was the start of it. I don't know that I'd say anybody has ever done with that. It's always tinkering, always trying something new. You know, it's new toys to play with.
Well, you know, something interesting too, when you talk about it, you're talking about fire departments and everything else. A lot of your fire departments can only talk within the county or maybe a neighboring county.
Yeah.
How far can you talk?
How far do you want to talk? So around the world, it's one of those things where we have different levels of equipment, where some of it's designed to talk locally, some of it is literally designed to talk around the world. So we can set up stations and talk. I've talked to people on 5 of the 6 continents from my house.
Which one are you missing?
Antarctica. There is actually a station there. I don't know, Tom, I don't know if you've ever talked to Antarctica.
Yeah, that's a hard one though. Yeah.
There is a station there. And so it's interesting with a small box and a wire hung up in a tree that you can do that. So it really is worldwide, and it's talking to people. It's also electronic, anywhere from digital messages, emails. Give me a computer and a radio, and I can send that over radio waves to somebody else that's got the same setup. Don't need the internet, don't need phone lines, things like that. So it's a good backup form of communications. Also out of this world, I would say. One of the most popular things, the International Space Station actually has a amateur radio repeater. A lot of the astronauts on the space station are licensed. They do a lot of events with schools. So I'm standing here in Rochester, and with a small radio and a little antenna, I can hear or talk through the space station to somebody else on the ground. So a lot of satellites that fly over, and it's pretty much endless.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody's interested in getting involved with your club, it sounds like that your new year starts in July.
Yeah.
What do they do? Just come to a meeting and check it out, or how can they go about getting involved?
Yeah, they can come to our meetings. They're open to the public, and we have an email address, fcarcindiana, all one word, @gmail.com. Then we can get back with you on email, and then we have a Facebook page, which I forget the.
Yeah. So Fulton County, Indiana, the Fulton County Amateur Radio Club, Indiana. There's a few Fulton counties around
Yeah.
the United
Yeah.
States, so make sure you put that Indiana on there. But if you see some familiar faces, you're probably at the right spot.
You've got an event coming up.
We do have an event coming up. So Tom mentioned the meetings, and like I said, we'd love to see folks at those meetings. We do some information about, you have your normal business meeting, but we also try and do some technology. We've got one club member that he's always bringing in something interesting and showing us, whether it be something old, something new. Last month he brought in a standard that he'd used to calibrate some equipment that was over 100 years old.
Wow.
And it still worked. It's pretty cool. Think of like a tuning fork with electricity coming out of it. But we do have, we have field day coming up. So that's tomorrow. This is a great time for folks to just come out and see what amateur radio is about. So we're going to be out at Richland Restoration Nature Park. So appreciate the County Parks Department letting us use the space. That's out on County Road 450 North between Old and New US 31. We'll be out there tomorrow from 2 to 5 p.m. We'll have some stations set up so that if folks want to come out and just see what we're doing, we'll probably be making contacts here locally, but then also worldwide. Last year, I think we were talking to folks in Canada and on the western part of the United States. And we'll be set up out there. Folks can come out and just see how things operate. We'll have club members out there, and if folks want to actually try and talk on the radio, we'll have licensed club members out there that can run the stations, help folks get involved, just see what's going on. We also do something called a fox hunt. Now, no animals are harmed during this. Fox hunt is it's a term used for finding a radio transmitter. So somebody hides a radio transmitter, and then we use direction finding equipment, antennas and radios, to locate that transmitter. So think about a real world scenario. If you had a situation where a plane had trouble and had to make an emergency landing or crashed, finding a flight recorder, something like that. There's a number of possibilities. Also finding interference. There's radio waves all around us right now. They get messed up with each other sometimes. So we'll have that activity as well, and just a good time to connect with folks, learn about what amateur radio is. So we'll be set up there tomorrow from 2 to 5 p.m. and be having some fun.
And what parameters are there to join the club, or how much does it cost them?
For an individual, we have a $20 fee, and that goes to help support club projects. And we have a family plan. If 2 more people from the family join, it's $30.
Sounds like a good deal.
And it's always free to come check it out. So if you just want to see what it's about and
Yeah.
see if we're cool enough to hang out with.
And then it's, not that expensive, and then if you need to you decide to get into the hobby, you know, set up equipment. A lot of people know how to set stuff up, so you got a lot of free knowledge base.
Yeah, take advantage of that for sure. Brian, I see you got some other interesting facts down on your sheet. Can you share some of those?
Well, I was just going to share a couple of things. Thinking about real world experience, one of the things that jumps out of my mind talking about how amateur radio has been involved, going back a number of years before the proliferation of cell phone and communication like that, amateur radio operators were involved in the Mars system, allowing military members. I have a friend that was in Vietnam, and he was able to talk to family back home because of amateur radio operators working a system there. There was a significant effort during the 9/11 situation where amateur radio got involved as a supplement to communications. When everybody's trying to make a call on a cell phone, all of a sudden things don't go through. So amateur radio was able to help there. A more recent example, if you remember, a little over a year ago, Hurricane Helene went through Florida and then moved its way up the East Coast. The Carolina areas were really hit hard, and there was about a week where your standard communication, so cell phone, all of your emergency systems were down, and there was a group of amateur radio operators that really became the lifeline. They're working with emergency services. One was located at a fire station, helping coordinate rescue efforts. So things like that, and Tom, he was telling a story recently about a vacation he went down to Tennessee, and he was in an area where there was no cell coverage. So
Yeah, and my Jeep broke down, so I got on my ham radio and called and talked to a guy 3 cities away, and he got me in touch with a tow company, and
Yeah.
they came and towed me out.
Wow.
Wow.
It's kind of like that credit card, never leave home without any.
That's right, exactly.
and also, it's always just kind of fascinating. Some folks that we think of as names that a lot of people know that are or have been amateur radio operators. Walter Cronkite, he was a trusted voice on the news for so many years. Music, Joe Walsh. One of my favorite movies, A Christmas Story. My family doesn't agree with me, but it's one of my favorite movies. Gene Shepard, who wrote that. Names like Chet Atkins, Marlon Brando, Priscilla Presley, Barry Goldwater were all have or are licensed amateur radio operators.
Very cool.
That is cool. Awesome. Brian, how long does a license last? Do you have to do stuff to renew your license?
Yeah, so once you take the test the first time, it's good for 10 years, and then every 10 years you have to renew that with the FCC. You don't have to take a test each time, but you do have to renew it. And part of the reason why that happens is so that in the case of an emergency, there's a network of folks out there that can help with these backup communications.
Sure. Brian, Tom, anything else you'd like to plug about the club before we get on to the trivia?
I just want to thank county commissioners because they've let us set up a one-link gateway to the internet out of the county highway barn, and then with the EMA building, we've done a lot of work out there, and then we're getting ready. Our next project is to get an amateur station set up just off of 911 dispatch
Oh, wow.
and put an antenna out there at the jail. So
Awesome.
that would be the emergency operations center for a big event. So
Gotcha. Awesome.
And it's one of those things, kind of the slogan of amateur radio is when all else fails, we're here. So hopefully we're never needed, but if we are, part of what we do on a regular basis is practice and know how our equipment works and be ready to support those emergency responses if needed.
And why don't you remind everybody one more time about the details about tomorrow's event?
Yeah, so field day is going to be tomorrow from 2 to 5 p.m. Out at Richland Restoration Nature Park. We'd love to have the public show up, even if you're just curious about it, if you want to get involved, if you want to try to find a hidden radio transmitter. We have some club members doing that. we want to try and make contacts around the world. We'll have some members set up and ready to help with that as well. And we just love to appreciate Randy getting a nice day scheduled for us out there. So
There you go.
but we're looking forward to that.
Well, Brian, Tom, thanks for joining me this morning, and good luck with your event tomorrow. And hopefully, Randy gets some good weather orders for you.
We're counting on it.
All right. On this day, 1977, Elvis Presley performed his final concert. Where was that concert held? Was it Madison Square Garden in New York City, Market Square Arena in Indianapolis, the Astrodome in Houston, or the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis?
I'm thinking it was New York.
That's what I was thinking, Madison Square Garden.
Market Square, because I was working at WROI when Elvis passed away.
Should have known. Tom would know it. See?
Market Square Arena in Indianapolis.
Tom would know it.
His career closed with his 1961 song "Can't Help Falling in Love."
Wow. Alright.
And we'll close with some words of wisdom from Jimmy Dean, the past American actor. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination.
Awesome. Tom, Brian, great talking to you. Thank you very much. Tanner, we'll talk to you next Friday.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for the First Federal program. Have a great Friday.